Oh my god, welcome back to my channel. But don't you just love my Spy Family mug? I love it so much. This is the first time I'm using it, and I've made myself a nice hot cup of tea. So settle down, get yourself all nice and cozy, because we are going to talk about a very popular manga series that has taken the world by storm the past couple of years, and that is Spy Family. In this video, I will be reading all of the volumes of Spy Family that I own, as well as some additional chapters that have yet to be released in volume format, because I do have my Shonen Jump app, and there are currently 94 chapters as a film in this video. I also got the first part of season 1 of Spy Family on Blu-ray. I know this is on Crunchyroll, and I do have Crunchyroll. Now, I don't trust streaming services to keep things on forever, so I do like to own my things physically. So I'm very excited to try the anime for the first time. And I also have a light novel called Family Portrait. I might not read this in this video. I have a bunch of light novels that are based off of manga that I would love to maybe do a full-on reading vlog reading them. So I might not get to this one in this vlog, which is fine because you can just subscribe and you can see the video when it finally comes out. But my main focus will be on the Spy Family manga. Now, I've already read the first volume. I read it for the first time over a year ago. I did a manga tournament video on my channel back in December 2022, trying to decide which manga series to binge. In spoilers for that video, Spy Family did get knocked out in the first round against Berserk. Yeah, that's been one of my lowest points, honestly. But to be fair to Berserk, it is currently my second favourite manga of all time. But I also feel gutted that I never got to continue Spy Family. So I've never read beyond volume 1, so this will be me reading the series for the very first time. So this one follows a spy called Lloyd, but he goes by the name Twilight, and he has this mission where he needs to infiltrate this kind of school, I think, and he needs to adopt a daughter and find a wife in order to exact this mission successfully. And I believe his wife is called Yo, and the daughter is called Anya, who I love. And Anya is a telepath, and Yo is an assassin, and none of them know what the other one does, except for the telepath who can hear the thoughts of Lloyd and Yo. Yeah, I can't really remember too much outside of that. I just remember having an absolute blast reading the first volume. And I am doing more of these all-in-one manga editions of my reading vlogs, where I just binge an entire manga series in one video and talk about it completely spoiler-filled. So there will be spoilers in this video. But I will keep you right throughout. I will let you know what chapters I am covering in each section of this video. Everything will be timestamped below, as well as all the links to check me out on social media if you want to follow me on any of those. And while you're down there, do give this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. And now, without further ado, let's get started. 14 months it's been since I first read Spy Family. 14 months. And I am shocked at how much I forgot. And also, weirdly, there were some little moments that I remember, even though they weren't important moments whatsoever. So I'm like, it's funny how my memory works. Like, I forgot a good chunk of this volume and the setup of the story. But there are things like, say for instance, when Yo is holding Anya's hand in the kind of theme park where they've gone, and you're always thinking, oh, you know, holding her hand is so sweet. It reminds me of when I used to hold my brother's hand, except I accidentally broke some of his bones. And then Anya, obviously, like, she can hear because she's a telepath. She has that face, you know, that face she pulls when something horrific has just being said in someone's mind and she hears it. For some strange reason, I remember that. But I didn't remember that Yo, she is an unmarried female and she is 27 years old. And for some reason in this world, it's really suspicious if a woman isn't married. Like, that's pretty important. But somehow I remembered a really random story about her accidentally breaking her brother's bones. Like, but I loved it. It's honestly such a fantastic first volume. It has such a unique story and premise. At least I think so anyway. I've never really read anything spy related. I do love spy movies, like Spy Kids, for instance. But the fact that Lloyd, he is our main character, codenamed Twilight, he has this mission where he needs to get close to somebody and find out some plans, because the person he needs to get close to is a grave threat to the East and the West. There are talks about potentially some kind of war. Your mission is to get close to him and probe into any seditious activities. In order to do so, you will marry and have a child. And I love when Lloyd gets that assignment, because he is just reading just casually, and he takes a sip of his coffee, and then he reads "You have to marry and have a child," and he just spits out the coffee, but his face doesn't change. The humor in Spy Family is absolutely second to none. So good, so funny, and I love how the humor is balanced with moments of such cuteness and adorableness. Like Anya, honestly, everything she does, you just burst. You absolutely burst. When Lloyd and Anya go to the apartment for the first time and they meet one of their neighbours, and Lloyd tells her, "You're my child and you've always been my child, okay, remember that?" And then Anya says to this neighbour, "Hi, I'm Anya and I've always been my papa's child." And like, she says things without thinking sometimes, and it just adds to how funny and adorable this is. As I said, this vlog will be filled with spoilers, and I've decided to go volume by volume rather than arc by arc because the arcs aren't really official, so do be wary of that going forward. But I probably won't mention every single plot point that happens, which is what I find interesting. So Lloyd acquires a child relatively easily, actually. He manages to get Anya, no paperwork really has to be signed or anything. He gets it quite easily, but it's the way that Lloyd is trying to figure out how to even approach a child, really. Like, he tries to research it, and he's like so lost. Like, he is this formidable spy, but raising a child, definitely one of his hardest missions yet. And I love the way he kind of tries to tie his experience as a spy with raising a child. So he reads, "Children might not be able to convey their feelings verbally, so try to sense what they're experiencing." So he's like, so no interrogations then. And again, it's just like little moments like that. It just builds his character. Like, he feels so real. All the characters feel so real. I know it's the first volume and usually it takes me a little while for me to fall in love with characters or for them to feel believable to me. But from the off, I genuinely think Tatsuya Endo is so great at character work. And Lloyd as well, when he says that the reason he became a spy was so that he could make a world where children never need to cry again, kind of thing. Oh my god. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love with him. I really am. And this needs to stop. I need to stop falling in love with manga characters too quickly. But like, he's good with children, or at least he's trying to be, and he's just like so adorable and just like, oh my god, he's perfect. He's so good. Because how proud Lloyd is when Anya passes her first test and he picks her up and he's like, "Great job. I did good. You did very good." Just, oh my god. It's already got me hook, line, and sinker, you know what I mean? I can't believe it's been this long for me to pick Spy Family up again. I loved the first volume when I first read it. I had all of these feelings when I first read it, so I only have myself to blame. Oh, I've got loads of photos of my favourite moments, but when Anya crawls into lying with Lloyd while he's sleeping on the sofa, and then he kind of just like wakes up and drops her to the ground. Like, he's so unaware sometimes, but I love the fact that we are slowly getting this family dynamic, and it's just perfect. It really is. And obviously it's messy because this is for a mission. It isn't really that Lloyd adopted a child because he wanted to adopt a child. It's literally just because of a mission. But the way that we, progress in this volume, I genuinely think it's going to be way more than him just adopting a child for a mission. Like, his heart is going to get into it, and I can already see it happening. Oh, Yo. Okay, so I really like Yo too. I think she's awesome. She is an assassin. She's called the Thorn Princess, and she's very good at her job. But she also has like another job, and the people she works with are awful. Like, I know there's the whole thing about unmarried women being suspicious and stuff, but the way that the other women in her office, like the way they treat her, like say for instance later on when Yo takes Lloyd to the party of like all the work people being there, and this specific person, I don't remember her name and I don't care to remember it, she's a bitch, but the way that she just treats Yo, she's just so mean. It's just like, why? Even Yo is like, is she taking pleasure in this? Like, why is she possibly being this way? So I totally forgot about that whole side of things too. But Yo is incredible. I love her. I love the fact that Anya heard her thoughts and heard that she's an assassin, and the way that Anya just thinks everything is so cool. She thinks Lloyd being a spy is cool, she thinks Yo being an assassin is cool, but obviously Yo and Lloyd don't know about each other, but Anya knows about both of them, but they don't know about her being a telepath. This is like genius. Like, this is so genius. Oh, and then when Lloyd finally manages to get to the party because he was in a bit of a scuff with a mission, and he's late to this party that Yo had invited him to, and he accidentally says that he is her husband pretty much straight away. But it's the way that that horrible, mean, nasty woman was trying to make Yo seem awful by the fact that she had a job where she gave massages and stuff, but she was like very suggestive about it. But the way that Lloyd is like, I admire that. I admire the fact that Yo did what she had to do to survive and provided for her family. Oh god, like, is he not just perfect? They both found each other and it's beautiful. The way that she says, like, will you marry me, like, straight away. And, like, usually things like this, it's like, oh, that's so quick. But there's a reason for it. But the way that Lloyd, they're being chased by some bad people. And Lloyd has this bomb thing and he takes the thing out of it. I'm not a spy, so I don't know terminologies. But he takes the thing out of it and it has this kind of ring on it. And he throws the bomb at the bad guys and puts the bomb ring on Yo's finger. And they're pretty much getting married, like, right there and then. It's just so funny because then you also see the explosion behind them. It's kind of romantic. In a weird way, it's kind of romantic. So seeing this really strange, bizarre family trying to bond also, when they take Anya to the museum, and Lloyd is like, okay, we need to immerse ourselves in culture and the fine arts and the like. And then you see Anya in the background pointing at a painting and she says, Papa, boobies, I can see her boobies. It's just so immature, but so perfect. And that made me laugh way too hard. And it shouldn't have, really. And you can see how amazing they would work together too. When that guy steals that old woman's purse and Yo instantly goes in to try and, get this purse back. But Lloyd and Anya's using her telepathy to kind of find him amongst the crowd. And she finds him and she's smart enough to be like, oh, Papa, I want a cake. And she points in the direction of, like, the cake place. And that's how Lloyd sees the person who had gotten away, like the thief had blended in. And they managed to get the purse back. But the way that they work together, oh my gosh, I can only imagine in the future the kind of shenanigans they will get up to. And I know they're all keeping everything secret from each other. And Anya, bless her heart, she thinks that if, anyone finds out she's a telepath, because in the past people have and they've wanted to experiment in stuff like that. So I can imagine Anya is feeling so overwhelmed and doesn't want to lose this new family that she has. So I'm like, what will happen when they all find out? What happens when Yo and Lloyd find out that Anya's a telepath? What happens when Lloyd and Yo find out about each other? I'm hooked. I was so intrigued by what happens next. Like, I cannot wait to read volume 2 now. But I'm so intrigued to find out if Anya had passed this interview thing at the academy that they go to. And Yo and Lloyd, and even Anya, they're just perfect, absolutely perfect. The elegance, as that man says, is like the pure elegance. I love how hard it was to just get in, and also, with all of the people watching as they get into the academy and all the other applicants are coming in and all the teachers are watching, people are getting failed by just the way they look. And the way that Lloyd is just, he's got 2 changes of clothes. He's on it. He is so good at what he does. And the way that he and Yo defend Anya when that one guy who is questioning them says something about, like, who do you love more, your old mummy or your new mummy? And, like, how painful that's just awful. I love the fact that the other teacher, the one who kept shouting, elegance, elegance, I love the fact that he was like, that was too far, and then ended up punching him. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, I have no idea if they get in or not. I think they do, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do love the elegance guy. I hope we see more of him. Just the way that he just shouts elegance. It's almost like he's overcome with emotion every single time something elegant happens. Bless him. At first I thought he was going to be a villain or a bad guy, but he seems actually kind of like a pretty decent guy. Oh, and when Anya says that she would give Lloyd and Yo a perfect 100 points, they're lots of fun and I love them. I want to be with them forever. Oh my god. Oh god, this mission. Like, it's gonna hurt if they ever end the mission and they go their separate ways. Don't play with my girls' emotions like that, please. I beg. I hope they do stay together forever. It's like one of those things, where, it started as a mission, but then I did fall in love with being a family. That's what I want to happen, and I am ready. I am so ready to see that happen. I did some midnight sprints last night with my patrons so I could read volumes 2 and 3 of Spy Family, and oh my gosh, I was just dying all over again on those sprints. How can I begin to describe how much I seriously love these characters? And I already feel that way just 3 volumes in. Although firstly, let's talk about volume 2. I was so proud of Anya she got the top of the wait list and we just needed someone to get out. And I loved that Yo was like considering like killing someone on the list. Like, well, not on the list, but somebody who had gotten in so that Anya could get like bumped into actually attending the school. She was just like visualizing about it. It's what I love about Yo, is that she has this really dark mind, but she's so lovely and she is so nice and kind and caring, and you can see that she's already caring so much for Anya. So I just love her personality so much, and just seeing the way her mind works. There's another instance of that happening in volume 3, but the way that she wants to protect Anya, oh my god, it's immense. I think it was this volume where, yeah, it is, where she goes clothes shopping with Anya to get the uniform for the school, and there are some kids outside who plan on maybe kidnapping Anya, getting some money like as ransom and stuff. But the way that Yo defends her, the way that she knocks these kids out and she defends Anya with her life. Oh my god. Honestly, like, even though she is like a sort of adoptive mother to Anya, and it is kind of a sham, the feelings are real. I genuinely think the feelings are real. And no matter what happens in the future, like, no matter what the arrangement is between these three people, like Lloyd, Yo, and Anya, I feel like they're just going to protect each other from now on for the rest of time. Yo is like a great mother. She really is. And I know she has such doubt, which is something I love about her character too. We are exploring the doubt of her and how she doesn't feel like she can like cook. And well, I mean, she can't cook. Even Anya says that her food is terrible. But like, she's really trying, you know? Like, she is 100 points, you know, as Anya had said in the original interview for the Academy. Like, she is so good. I love her. Yeah, when they find out she's at the top of the wait list and that one person needs to drop out for her to get in there, and like the struggle that Yo has. No, you mustn't. You can't just kill innocent people like that, Yo. And then everyone else is looking at her like, Yo? I could just imagine how these characters are acting around each other, and the way that they just like look at the other person as they're thinking such horrendous thoughts, or like their secret thoughts, and you know, it's just funny. Like, I love the whole storyline of it. It's just so good. I feel like I'm repeating myself already, but like, how much more can I say how much I love this? It's so random as well when Anya wants a castle, or she wants to be saved by Lloyd in this castle, and so Lloyd gets all of these agents in to be the, I guess, background actors of the scene. And we also have Frankie, who is one of Lloyd's like friends and somebody who he works with. He comes and he's pretending to be the villain, and Yo is a magical witch. And like the roles that they play just to let Anya play pretend for a little bit, it's so adorable. It's so cute. Yo puts her everything into it. She's a great actress. And then, you know, she falls over and falls asleep. It's just so easy. Like, I'm here to save you, Princess Anya. Like, the way that Lloyd has to, I wouldn't exactly say lure himself to doing this kind of role, because, you know, he is like a really famed spy in this world. Like, Twilight is such a, like, it's a word, like, as we'll see later on as well, like, that word itself, it brings fear into the enemy kind of thing. So to see him play the role of a dad, like, doing all of this, I don't think my bussy can take it. And Anya's so proud of the uniform that she gets. She thinks she looks so cute in it, and she does. The way she just skips along like, la 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 la, should we stop at the park? I got a uniform. Like, she tells everybody, like all of these strangers, about her uniform. Oh, she is, you know what, kids in manga are so adorable. Kids in real life, not so much. I said it. But I think Anya is definitely one of the best child manga characters I've ever read before. Oh, and when Yo does defend Anya, she shouts, I am that girl's mother. I love my strong, cool mama. Train me, mama. Train you. I know being an Eden is dangerous, but if I train and get strong, I won't be scared. I want to be like you, mama. Oh my god, like, on the way that they're training. Look at them. Oh god. Whew. I do need a break after. I'm going to read the first 5 volumes and have a little bit of a break, because I've never really experienced this much cuteness in such a long time. And I love found family so much. I think it's one of my favorite tropes. And this is what Spy Family feels like. Even though it is supposed to be like a sham and stuff, and they're doing a mission, it still feels like found family. Also, this mug, I'm getting my money's worth out of it. So Anya gets to the school. She meets a guy called Damien Desmond. And I think Damien has a little bit of a thing for Anya. And Anya wants to get close to Desmond. And it's Lloyd's friendship scheme. So Anya and Damien get along. And Damien invites Anya to his house to play, accompanied by her parents. Direct contact with target achieved. So it's all part of the plan. But Anya and Damien, they get off on the wrong foot. And I love, oh my god, I love as well Anya's friend. I think she's called Becky. I love her too. She's so adorable. Anya and Becky become friends. And I love the fact that Anya punches Damien in the face because he's like a little bit of a bully. He's a little bit of a shit. So Anya really sticks up for herself and doesn't let herself be walked all over. Also, Anya's hair face. Oh my god. What? I love the fact that she's taking Yo's lessons of self-defense, and this is what she's going with. Like, she does have the right idea, but sometimes the wrong execution. So the fact that she just smiles, a smile is the strongest weapon, it stops the fight before it starts. But things kind of just escalate, and the way that Becky just absolutely admires her, like, she's still going. Like, she's still giving him the smile face. Mama lied, smiling doesn't help at all, but she's still smiling. And there's like fire in her eyes too. Like, look at that fire. Like, Anya knows what the mission is. Like, she is thinking world peace is resting on her shoulders. The pressure of that. And I feel so bad for her too, because she's trying so hard at studying, but it isn't coming easy to her. And I love when she's like, oh, I could just read someone's mind and copy off their answers and things like that. Like, that's so funny. But like, obviously that doesn't really fully work. And she is trying to study as well. She goes into her room and Lloyd finds her asleep at her desk. Oh, post. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Anya, the pressure of studying and doing well, the world peace resting on her shoulders. I'm out of breath. Whew. Who knew just going up and down those stairs would take the wind out of me. Anyway, you do see her trying, like really trying. And I love how confident she feels sometimes in answering a question. Just look how confident she looks at answering the question. Look at how Becky looks at her, like in awe. In awe. And then you see the teacher say, that is incorrect in every possible way. She's trying so hard. But the big twist in volume 2, and I was not expecting this whatsoever, was Yo's brother. Yo's brother is part of the secret police, and the secret police are trying to find Twilight, who is Lloyd, who is, you know, Papa. He's our Papa, he's Daddy Lloyd. And I just wasn't expecting it. I was like, shit. The fact that nobody else knows, like, say, Yo doesn't know that her brother is in the secret police is so funny because obviously her brother doesn't know that she is an assassin. So I'm like, all of these secrets, like, there's so many people with secrets. It's hilarious that they all kind of seem to cross paths and they're kind of all, like, really messily interconnected. It's so funny, but in a really concerning way. Because I do not want Yo's brother to find out about Lloyd, obviously. Like, he's our Lloyd. Literally, when Yuri, who is Yo's brother, is interrogating someone, he says, does the name Twilight mean anything to you? And that's when I was like, shit, he's looking for Lloyd. Shit. And now he wants to meet Yo's husband because I might talk about it more in volume 3, but I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, concerned and in admiration of the sibling dynamic between Yuri and Yo. Like, at times it's a little bit weird, like maybe a little bit too weird, but also at other times you really see how, I'll talk about it in volume 3. But I love the fact that Yuri does want to meet Yo's husband that night, and why in the world did Yo not tell him for the last year that she got married? Because obviously, like, the marriage certificate was backdated yet to make things look less suspicious. We ended this volume with me being like, what's going to happen next? Like, this is drama. And yet both Lloyd and Yuri are so suspicious of one another. I was so ready for volume 3, you have no idea, but oh, just as good as the first volume. I live for messy family dynamics. So in volume 3, we do get Yo's explanation for why she didn't tell her brother. So she assures Lloyd that she has the perfect excuse, the perfect reason why she didn't tell him. So you don't need to worry about it. I have a perfect explanation already for him. And so her explanation is, I just forgot. That's her perfect explanation. Look at her face as well. Like, she is so satisfied with her explanation. I just forgot. I forgot that I had forgotten to tell you I got married. And Yuri's like, well, if you say so, that's good enough for me. The man was beyond reason when it came to his sister. I love the whole scene between the brother, Yo, and Lloyd. The way that Yuri, like, yeah, he came across so odd sometimes. There was a weird like flashback moment where he was like, when I get older I want to marry you, and yours like, I guess I'll have to wait for you then, kind of thing, which obviously is a little bit sweet because obviously he's a child. It is sweet, but the way that Yuri has turned out, the way that he doesn't want any kind of person to have your really, like, is very unreasonable with Lloyd for a lot of it, in a kind of humorous way, so I don't read too much into it despite the weird dynamic. But it was actually the flashback where we have Yor as a child, so I'm wondering, like, did she start assassinations as a child? Because she comes in with blood on her. She says, Yuri, I'm home. Ta-da, it's that encyclopedia set you've been wanting. I got a big payday at work, so I brought it for you. My sister was always doing stuff like that for me. She worked herself bloody all for my sake. And I'm like, oh, I mean, you know what? I would be so protective of Yor as well if I was her brother. I mean, again, like, the way that he goes on, the way that he skips about with like flowers and stuff, and the way he talks about his sister is very strange, but you can kind of see through the flashbacks why he is that way a little bit. So it really is very sweet. Unfortunately, it did go well as expected. He does try and get Lloyd and Yor to kiss, and I thought that whole segment was so funny. Yeah, they're about to kiss, and then he's like, stop, Yor, please, I can't bear to see you kiss another man in my pres. And then she hits him. I get it now, Yor, that stronger reaction to me stopping your kiss. I get how eager you are to smear your lips all over that creep. Like, he takes it the wrong way. Honestly, like, I honestly don't understand how, like, she beats her brother black and blue, pretty much bloody, when they're about to kiss, and yet he thinks it's because he was going to try and stop them from kissing, but she didn't want him to stop them from kissing, even though they've never kissed before. So Yor doesn't actually want to kiss Lloyd in that moment because they hadn't done it yet. So, like, honestly, I love it. I love how much miscommunication there is. It's usually my least favorite trope in like romances and stuff, but in Spy Family it's a totally different kind of miscommunication. It leads to like the most hilarious hijinks. It's great. There is a dodgeball game, which is pretty cool. But like, what is this? It says here, Bill Watkins, age 6. Him. And they're like, what? That guy's a monster. Oh no, that's Bazooka Bill. He was a real early bloomer physically and mentally. He's dominated all of the sports tournaments since nursery school. But I'm like, him? How is he 6 years old? What? I am confusion. Anyway, it was a really good game, and I love the fact that Damien ended up protecting Anya. Like, Anya was reading the mind of Bill as he was like throwing things, throwing the balls, and she managed to like dodge and stuff. Honestly, it's such a cool power. And I love the fact that in this volume 2, Anya ends up saving someone from drowning, and she can hear like obviously him crying out for help as he's drowning, and so she was able to save him. But like, she did it in a really clever way where it didn't look like she knew that he was drowning, but rather, oh, I want to go swimming, so let's go to the pool, and you know what I mean? Like, she does it very cleverly. I'm like, this could lead to some great scenes with her. Like, what a really cool and great power. But yeah, sorry, when Damien protects Anya from the ball, I was like, is it wrong that I think Anya and Damien are going to end up becoming the best of friends? Like, they are adorable. Like, the way that Damien is trying to fight his feelings for Anya, and you could see, like, how much, because Anya does try to apologize for punching him, and he goes all red. He's like, I'm so angry, but he's actually not, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's so cute. It's adorable. And look how evil Anya is when she's talking about cheating. And, you know, she's going to try and see what other people's speciality is. That way, when I cheat, I'll ace the test every time, easy peasy. But just, like, look at her face. Like, I love how adorable she can be, but also, like, really evil the next minute. So, yeah, she ends up saving that guy from drowning. Like, she jumps in. Like, she risked her own life to save this guy. I'm like, wow, she is awesome. And then Lloyd saving them both. Oh my god, can he do anything wrong? Seriously. I genuinely think he is my new, like, manga husband. I mean, it will always be Ace from One Piece, but times are a-changing. Times are a-changing. I could be a bigamist. I'm absolutely fine with that. Doesn't mean I love either of them less. But anyway, oh my god, look at how proud Lloyd is of Anya. Oh my god. And she gets a star for saving someone's life. So she now needs 8 stars to be part of, like, the elite or something. I will understand what the whole point system is. There are, like, 8 demerits and like 8 stars and stuff, and she needs to get like 8 stars. Yeah, Lloyd is so proud of her. I love that. So we end this volume with Anya wanting a dog, and I again love Yor's thought process where she is thinking about like how violent dogs can be, and so she's like, dogs can be so ferocious. I worry about Anya getting bitten to death. And there's obviously Anya hearing her thoughts and thinking, oh my god. And then she also hears her dad's thoughts and about how a nice big strong dog could be a good security, kind of thing. But it's the way that Yo still thinks about a cute tiny dog maiming Anya. So yeah, we ended the volume with her talking about wanting a dog. So it'll be really cool and nice to see the family go the next step, which is, of course, getting a furry family member. And oh my god, I just know I'm going to end up falling in love with this dog. If they get one. I think they will. Because now she's already told Damien that she has a dog. So, like, she needs to get a dog now. But, oh god, I don't know if I can cope. I don't know if I'll be able to cope if we add a dog in the mix. I really don't. How do you make Spy Family any more adorable? You add a dog. And isn't he so cute? Oh my gosh, he's such a good boy. I love how it all ended up unfolding in getting this dog, who they end up calling Bond. Well, Anya calls him Bond. Which, even though there is a TV show in this called Bond Man, who she named him after, obviously, but I feel like it's still like a good nod to Bond, James Bond, you know what I mean? So I love all of the espionage Easter eggs that we keep getting sprinkled into the story. It feels true spy, And I haven't enjoyed anything spy related in such a long time. This is really making up for lost time. And what's even better as well is that Bond also has a superpower. He has like precognition, I think it is, where he has like some foreknowledge or like foresight of an event that's going to happen, which as soon as Anya sees what's in his head, because yeah, again, like she's a telepath, oh my god, I just love how everything just fits so well together. Like everything is just so perfect. The way that each of the family members complement one another and how like compatible they are, but half of them don't even know they're compatible. You know what I mean? It's just so funny and so amazing. But yeah, this precognition gift is so awesome. I mean, firstly, we do have, Lloyd and Yo taking Anya to this like dog fair where there's like a lot of dogs getting adopted. But Lloyd gets a mission and it involves a bomb, and he ends up having to go. And I love when Anya says, like, I love how she hears his thoughts and then she feels like she has to, protect her parents without either of them knowing that she's doing it. So the fact that Lloyd has given you orders, so he has to make no excuse about like bowel issues, and then you're like, Lloyd, are you okay? And then Anya says, Papa takes a really long time to crap, we should go. Oh, I see, I guess that's fine then. And then Lloyd is looking like rather embarrassed. I appreciate her back in my plate, but you know what I mean? That whole interaction is just so funny. It's one of the reasons why I love the series so much. It's always when Anya involves herself in the missions without Lloyd knowing. Like, he is like the greatest spy, right? We have so many moments where he's like, I'm such a good spy. I've had years and years of experience and stuff like that. And just like right under your nose, man. But I did feel so bad for Bond because he's one of those like really cute dogs. And apparently there are these bad people who are using dogs as bomb dogs, which broke my heart. So I was like really rooting for Anya and like Lloyd to stop them. And I love how Yo also had a little bit to play in that too, because Anya does leave Yo, and I like love that whole section where Anya meets the dog, and then the dog and Anya kind of like escape, and then Yo is trying to find Anya, and then Lloyd is so oblivious and he's like trying to like go about his mission. Oh my god, Yo, like this is why she is amazing. When she sees the people who are trying to get Anya and the dog, Yo sees them and protects them. Oh my god, like she becomes ruthless. It's actually kind of scary, but I mean, again, she is a mum to Anya now, and she will protect her with her life. Oh my god, like isn't that so scary? But like she, again, will protect them with her life. Look at her face. Look at her face. Like you can tell she just cares so much. She cares so much. Oh my god. I read up to volume 8, so again, I'm not going to do like any spoilers for future volumes when I'm talking about a specific volume. So you don't need to be worried about being spoiled for anything in the future. But one of my favourite themes of Spy Family, one of the things that I love exploring, is Yo feeling like she belongs in this family and really caring for Lloyd and Anya. And now we can add a dog in the mix, we can add Bond. But oh my god, there was some stakes in this one because Bond, with his precognition, sees like the bomb blast and Lloyd dead, which this image terrifies me too. I mean, imagine being Anya seeing that in her head. I mean, Lloyd is the first person who's cared about her in such a long time, so obviously she's going to do what she can to protect him. But the fact that she manages to save everyone, like she manages to put like a note on the door where there is this bomb to stop them from like, going into the trap. She does that, and I'm just like, well, she's so smart. I love how she tried to disarm it. She's like, it's not like it is on the TV shows where all you have to do is like cut the red wire. All of them are black. There is just so many times when we have nods to those espionage spy-like things and how simple they make it look, whereas it's not really that easy in real life. So the whole storyline in this, it was the perfect blend of spy and family. They unknowingly worked so well together. Well, the only person who knew was Anya, but like, yeah, the way that they each feel so accomplished and proud. Like, to think I'm the one who stopped the bad guys and protected the country and no one will ever know. And yeah, I did it. I stopped that bomb and saved Papa's life. I saved the whole world. And then Lloyd is like, we narrowly managed to save the summit, but I don't know how much more I can take. My stomach's killing me. But they all feel like they've done the biggest part. And honestly, I just love how Annie is just like keeping the secret. I'm like, one day, she will reveal all and they're going to feel so dumb. But this is adorable. How much more adorable do you want this to be? Because yeah, I'm going to explode with how much adorableness there is. And I just love this dog so much already. Like when you see what it's been through. Yeah, when the bomb people were, oh my god, like doing experiments and stuff, like sending subject A, time for his shots, eat your food, you ingrate, raise the voltage, if he dies there's plenty more where he came from. Oh my god, my heart was breaking. I was getting so genuinely upset. Like, we need to protect dogs, we need to protect all animals. And now you're part of the Forger family? Like, oh my god, that's just, the perfectest thing. I was so happy. So happy for Bond. He deserves a really great family to be a part of. But yeah, I just love the fact, like, how coincidental it is that Bond also has a superpower. And I love how Anya is trying to convince Damien how cool it is at school too. It's just like, guess what I got? A dog. It's like, yeah, so what? Seriously, one of the things I love about manga is just how expressionful, is that the right word? Expressionful? Like how many expressions they have. And I just love how animated they feel, even though it's just like still images. Like, oh my god, it's so good. Like, the facial expression, love it so much. I also watched the first couple of episodes of the anime. I can't remember if I already mentioned or not. And I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to watch any more just yet because I feel like I'm being too repetitive with the story. I want to wait until I need a refresher for the story. But I did enjoy what I saw so far, though. Oh, the way that Bond just instantly belongs in this family. Love it. And the way that Bond gets the gloves back for Anya from the different dog in the park. Like, oh, I present you our dog Bond. Yeah, and the last thing I want to talk about in this volume is when Anya tastes his dog food and she's like, I've had worse and I've had better. But it's the way that Bond just looks at her and she looks at him back like, so what? What are you going to do about it? You know, I love that. It's so funny. So all in all, great volume. I thought it had a brilliant story. The best volumes to me are when the family work together and you get the best blend of the two. Okay, lots happened in volume 5, so it was another really great volume for me. And I will say though, the next 2 volumes after this I didn't love. So even though I've been like really super positive up until now, just bear that in mind. Not everything will be amazingly positive, but just know I still absolutely love the series. But volume 5 was still very, very good. So just a little rundown of things that happened in volume 5. We start off with like Yor trying to get better at cooking. And again, like one of the things that I kind of like is the recurring element that Yor's cooking isn't good. Because I relate to that so much. And like, I do like Yuri. He is a little bit weird, but the way that, oh my god, that looks disgusting. Like, look at this. This is what Yor makes, right? And then when Yuri has it, he's like, it's fantastic, even though he's like throwing up everywhere. I'm like, you know what? He is the most supportive brother. I've got to give him that. As much as he doesn't like Lloyd, as much as he's probably going to be the downfall, well, probably not the downfall, but there's going to be some kind of head-to-head there, I imagine, with him being with the SSS. There's going to be a confrontation at some point, right? Like, we're going to head in that direction. I'm very excited for when that does happen. But I love how supportive he is of his sister and how much he loves and adores her. One of his best qualities, and he can be so funny. Even though I do find his thought process quite repetitive at this point now, like his distaste for Lloyd is getting a little bit repetitive, which, you know, does happen with some characters. Like another character we meet in this volume called Nightfall, she started to get like really repetitive also by volume 6, but I digress. I loved that Yor was really, really trying. She was coming home with cuts and bruises all over her hands and stuff, and Lloyd was like, what's going on? But she's actually been taking cooking lessons from somebody at work. I keep forgetting her name, but she's the mean one, the one who always treats Yor quite horribly. She's very judgmental. Camilla. That's it, Camilla. At least Camilla's husband is very nice to Yor, and helps her. And then Yor finally gets a dish, right? Like, this honestly doesn't sound that exciting, right? But because by volume 5, you're so invested in the characters, you love them so, so much. Little wins like this, you're getting better at cooking. Love it. Like, it doesn't have to be exciting all the time. Like, I know Spy Family, you kind of expect espionage all the time, but sometimes it's really nice to actually settle down with the family part of this. It's actually probably my favourite part of the story, or the family side of it. But look how happy she is, and like, oh, you just feel proud for her. And they're eating it and they're like, I like it a lot. There's something very comforting about it. It's good. Yum, yum. Oh my god, it's just, I was so happy for her. Seeing them smile like that, I never imagined it would make me feel this happy. Like, she's in it. She's in it for the long haul. Oh gosh, I really do hope Yor and Lloyd realize how much they love one another. Like, oh my god, like, that would just be perfect. I love them. I mean, as much as I want Lloyd for myself, I'm absolutely happy with this kind of charade becoming real. But you know, everything else about it is real. I feel like the feelings that they're getting, the feelings that they have within this family, being happy and making the others happy, it feels real, and it is real. It's just the facade of it is like obviously a sham. Oh, but then Yor does have a dessert, which does knock them out. Anyway, I love the new family portrait of the family. Oh my gosh, that's what the light novel is called. Family portrait. Is this set in between chapters? Like, is this okay to read yet? Or are there spoilers for what's coming? Like, whereabouts in the story is it okay to read this? Or is it like completely standalone and it doesn't spoil anything? I'll find out one day. So yeah, they get the family portrait, and I am loving Becky more and more with each volume. I love how much she like falls in love with Anya's dad. She's like, who is this totally dreamy guy? Is this seriously your dad, Anya? And she is obsessed. And honestly, I can relate. They have an art project where they have to make an animal, and Becky makes Anya's dad. And you know the elegance guy, he says, the elegance of your execution is not in question, but you were told the theme is animals, start over. And then look at Becky's face. Master Henderson, human beings are animals. Oh my god. Gasp! She speaks truth. This Master Henderson is like one of my favourite side characters. Absolutely 100%. And I would not have expected it when we first met him in volume 1. I mean, yeah, I really did end up enjoying him by the end of it, and he stood up for the family by punching that guy. But I just didn't dream that we would ever get to this point where he would actually be one of the funniest side characters of Spy Family. And you know what? There are so many people competing for this role. So I think that's huge praise. Another really important storyline is Damien and his dad, because the dad is Lloyd's target. But it's actually so sad to see how much Damien really wants his father to notice him. And I really do like Damien. I think he's pretty good. Like, obviously him and Anya don't get on, but I find that rather hilarious more than annoying or anything. And Anya really like does stand up for herself. Like, she doesn't really take anything too critically. You know, like, she just goes with things. Like when he says about Bond, do you always name your garbage? And she says Operation Dog has failed. You know, like, she takes it on the chin. She is such a good sport. She is like the best daughter that Lloyd could have ever picked out. But I do love how Anya is offering to help Damien, and he goes off on her because she doesn't make it all that well. And you can kind of see why he did, because he says, thanks to her, there's no salvage in it now, and I was planning to show it to father too. You can see like how desperate he is just to get his dad's attention. It's so sad. Although his griffin and Anya's thing together wins first prize, which Damien gets. Like, Damien gets the first prize, which is awesome for him, but like, really, that got first prize? They described your griffin as standing proud despite plucked wings. Instead, it served as a powerful vision of our nation as it rebounds from the war. They said they struggled to hold back tears at the symbolism of the cruelly slaughtered baby griffin you placed beside it. Like, what? Okay. But that absurdity is my kind of humour. And I love when Damien throws back Anya's face as well. Like, I wish I could do it. Like, I don't think I could do it. Oh, I forgot about this actually. It has been a few days since I read this, and I've read so much in between. There is a event called Eclipsing where one day a month the moon goes bye-bye, so does my ability to read minds. And it happens to be at the time of the test, so Anya won't really be able to cheat. I liked how Yori was becoming Anya's teacher during this time, because she says she's going to work very hard, and he's like, what a fine child, how could she be so virtuous and pure? However, she is trying to take you from me, so he is like still a little bit overwhelming. And I find it so sad that Anya like can't really take too much to the learning and stuff. I can imagine it's really hard to try and learn when you're constantly reading minds, and it's just yeah, as a child, it's just so much. Which ends up leading to Lloyd breaking into the school, ends up coming across another spy who's trying to change Damien's answers to get him expelled. And oh my god, like that was a whole twist in itself. Well, actually, one, like Anya didn't fail any tests, which is great. But the person who hired the spy to change Damien's scores is the kid who looks like he belongs in the Addams family. Because Damien's family screwed his family over, like him. And Anya finds out by reading his mind. George Glooman. And you would think that when it all comes out that the other kids would just shun him and stuff. But oh my god, like the sweetest things started happening. I was like, wait, hang on. This is way too pure. Like, would this actually happen in real life? I don't know. But according to George, he is going to have to be like kicked out of school because his family just can't afford it. And like he cries and he talks about all these things. How he'll cherish the trash that he's picking up because he'll not be able to stay there, and all of this is like his last stuff. And then he starts like asking for things and like people give him it out of the goodness of their heart, and then they all sing together as well. I was like, I can't wait to see this in the anime because I'm just like, how is this going to be portrayed? Like, it's so overwhelming. Is this going to turn into a musical? Everyone, thank you. I will treasure this memory forever. Like, I really did feel so bad for George. Look at everyone giving him stuff. Anya gives him a leaf that she found on the road. You can have my watch. Take this as my favourite book. Sent my favourite stationery. Like, even Damien is giving him stuff. And, like, everyone is just, like, in harmony. Everyone's being so lovely and nice. And, oh, my God, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And then, yeah, saying goodbye, farewell. And he's, like, leaving. And it's, like, so epic and grand. And then it turns out that he isn't actually leaving the school. The family can afford it. So he goes back the next day and like everyone's like, wait, hang on. I felt so bad for George. I mean, it's great that he can stay, but I can imagine how embarrassing that was for him. So lots of stuff to do with the school in this volume, which I didn't mind too much. And then the majority of like the end of this volume is Anya going to where Lloyd works at the hospital to kind of shadow him and stuff. I love how she initially does it. Like, I'm trying to understand this. I think it's like a joke kind of thing. But when Lloyd comes through and he says hello, and Anya says, Papa. So yada yada yada. Very well then. I feel like it's because we've already been told that she needs to go to her parents' place to shadow them for their profession. So obviously we don't need to know that again. So the mangaka's like, Anya says yada yada yada, and Lloyd just fully understands because we're not repeating what we've just been told. Especially since Anya was going to shadow Yor, but then she hears in Yor's mind about like the whole assassin stuff, and it's just like obviously not a good idea. But oh my god, when Lloyd, when he puts on his work uniform and stuff, I'm like, stop it. So that was like really fun. I love seeing Anya at her dad's work, but I love when she comes back and Yor brings up the, did you see Lloyd performing his incredible concussive therapy, like from the first volume, when Lloyd made up the excuse of like hitting all those people because it was concussive therapy? And Anya's like, his what? And Lloyd says, now Yor, that's only for extreme circumstances. But then that also comes back up as well because when Anya is giving her report, she says, I heard that sometimes he even punches and kicks his patients. And Elegance guy. Oh my god, I love his face. I love his reaction so much. Oh, and then the final chapter of this, and you know, I think one of the reasons why I didn't fully love the next volume as well, which again I'll not go into because I don't want to spoil any future volumes, but we are introduced to Nightfall, and she is somebody who works with Lloyd as a spy, and she seems like a pretty good spy, and I kind of find her fascinating, but she is in love with Lloyd, and she wants to take Yor's position as the mother of the household, which is part of the spy stuff, but she also just like wants Lloyd. Like she loves Lloyd, she always has, and she sees Yor as an obstacle. So we do get like a lot of stuff which was really endearing and funny at first, but does get like slightly repetitive by the end of it, as Nightfall sees Yor and Lloyd looking at one another, looking quite natural, and doing a really good job in this mission, I might add. So back off, bitch. So I don't really love her storyline. So as much as I did really enjoy this volume, I think the end of this chapter kind of indicated that the current arc, the current storyline that we're pursuing, wasn't going to be one of my favourites. And I was proven pretty much right when reading the next volume. So volume 6, I think, even after reading volume 7 and 8, is my least favourite volume so far. I didn't fully love it because it really did lack the good balance between spy and family. It leaned very heavily into the spy, but without the family being involved, really. A lot of, well, actually, I want to say, like, maybe the first half of this volume. Yeah, a good chunk of this volume, really, was dedicated to Nightfall and Lloyd being part of this tennis tournament thing where they were in disguise and they were, you know, trying to get this this art piece from a person who was running the whole tennis thing, and one of the prizes was you can pick anything that he owns. And I just didn't love that whole sequence. I mean, it was kind of a little bit exciting to see Twilight and Nightfall work together side by side, doing the whole tennis stuff and trying to overcome their opponents. Like, that was pretty fun sometimes. But I honestly got really bored of that pretty quickly, especially since, like, there were chapters upon chapters upon chapters without Yor or Anya. And so we really did lean way too heavily on the spy at the start of this and not enough on the family. And again, I just don't love the whole Nightfall trying to take Lloyd away from Yor kind of storyline. I mean, it was a little bit dramatic to begin with, and I was like a little bit like, ooh, what's going to happen there? But yeah, again, with the repetitiveness of her thought process, of Nightfall's mind, it just really got boring after a while. It does instill in Yor a sense of insecurity. Like, she isn't feeling so secure in her role as the mother of the Forger family. She thinks she's not doing a very good job, even though she really, really is. And you can really see how much she is by how much Anya really does care for her and love her too. So I freaking loved it when Nightfall challenged Yor to a kind of like tennis match, but Yor just completely wiped the floor with her. I've lost utterly and completely. So hopefully that was symbolic of Yor's position in this family, where don't come anywhere near us again, bitch, because you will be put down. Yor's love for this family is stronger than your love for Lloyd. And I do feel bad for Nightfall as well, because yeah, she has loved him for a long time. That is fine, like, I totally get it, but just stay away from my man. I mean, stay away from Yor's man. And like, even Yor, like, I wanted to shake Yor and be like, please, Yor, just open your eyes and see what you have in front of you. But there is like the whole miscommunication thing, because everyone's like keeping secrets from one another. So like, I totally get it. But it's like when Lloyd realizes that she might have romantic feelings for him, and he says, Yor, I want you to be my real wife. And then she kicks him. Like, she's like really scared. Like, she doesn't really know how to react. And all of that stuff was like such a huge, big miscommunication thing. While it was funny at times, I did kind of get a little bit annoyed by this point. I was a little bit like, okay, like, I would love to like move past this now. Lloyd now thinks that she doesn't have romantic feelings for him and, you know, falls unconscious. But Lloyd does want to reaffirm to Yor that she belongs with the family. She's an incredible mother and wants her to continue playing the role of his wife and mother to Anya. Do I say Anya and Anya different ways every time? I apologise. And then the rest of this volume, I mean, I kind of love when Anya was doing her photo shoot thing. I kind of like that, because her and Becky go on a shopping spree. But again, like, I didn't find that amazingly riveting stuff. I love the bond between Anya and Becky, especially with Becky having her driver person. I can't remember her name, but her there, like, she was so nice, and she realized like how much Becky needed a friend. So I did really understand the bond there, like how proud she was of Becky for making a friend. I mean, Becky does say things that are a little bit mean, but when Anya comes to the school, she says, Martha, listen, there's a really funny girl in class, maybe school won't be so bad after all. And it's like, you can really just see how much they bonded, and like, oh, it's so nice to see Becky be happy and have a friend, and they come from totally different backgrounds, and yet they're still best friends. I love it. It's so cute. And even Damien's like looking at them like, he also has a couple of incredible friends too, actually, I will admit. And again, reaffirms his need for his father. And we end this volume, very excitingly actually, with Lloyd finally coming face to face with his target. I was like, oh my god, okay, so I was not a big fan of this volume up until this point. I just found the balance was really out of whack. Focused too heavily on one thing and then another thing. And it just felt a little bit boring and repetitive for me. But then the ending came and I was like, okay, we're back on track now. So I will say that Volume 7 still wasn't really a big favourite of mine, although I did think it was a slight improvement over Volume 6. Don't worry though, Volume 8 I did love, so there are positive things on the way. But yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot to say about this volume in general. We did get the meeting between Lloyd and Damien's father, which was pretty exciting, and I was wondering how Lloyd would approach the conversation, because he couldn't, you know, have anything be flagged in the conversation of like why Lloyd is like there and talking to him. Like, Lloyd was very clever throughout the whole thing. I could never be a spy. I think I would have blown my cover straight away. But Lloyd really is like pretty fantastic, so I do love seeing him work. I think it's awesome. And I did feel a little bit bad for Damien, because, you know, he was finally face to face with his dad, wanting to get his attention and just have his dad care for, you know, just even the smallest part of him. And you can say Lloyd even trying to get that out of Damien's dad, especially when he brings up when Anya punched Damien in the face on like the first day. You could see how Damien's dad just didn't really care. So I was like pretty heartbroken for Damien, and I did enjoy the fact that Damien's friends were there for him. So when Damien is like trying so hard to study and stuff, and his friends, they want to go to the cinema and make the best of a day off, but Damien is like too focused on impressing his dad, really, that his friends end up sacking off having fun, and they do the laundry with Damien, they do other things with Damien, and it's just so sweet. It's so nice to see. So I'm glad that Damien actually does have some really good friends, because I wasn't sure he would when we first met him in the first volume, or was it the second volume? Whenever they met him and we got more of the dynamic between him and his friends at school, I thought, oh, they're going to be like bullies and they're going to be a bad influence and stuff like that. But no, actually, I feel like they all have a heart of gold. So when Damien falls into the water, when they're on like their day out, oh my gosh, look at this as well. Actually, before that. Oh, when his dad says, continue striving not to besmirch the Desmond name. And look at Damien's face. Like, how does that not break your heart? Like, you can see how much he's like so desperate for his dad's approval. I really hope, really hope that Damien comes out of this unscathed. I feel like his dad is the one who deserves the love of his son, not the other way around. Damien already deserves the love of his dad, but his dad isn't being a good dad. So he's the one who needs to change. But I do hope Damien gets his wish. I do hope Damien comes out this well. But yeah, when Damien and his friends are in the boat with the other guy, and Damien and his friends fall in, and his friends are like trying to save Damien over themselves. At the very least, you have to survive, boss man. He's right, please Damien, live the dreams that we never will. And then Damien's like, you guys, quickly to the boat before our strength fails. They're trying to get him back on the boat. But it does turn out that the water is very shallow. Like, they can't just stand up. But the fact that his friends were willing to die for him, they were willing to give up their strength for him so that he can live. Oh my gosh. Incredible. This trio, my love for them was cemented in this volume. Again, like, not really my favourite volume, one of my least favourite volumes so far, but I still think it was important, especially for Damien, to have this moment. We also have like another little weird storyline of Bond escaping the house, and he's hungry because they forgot to get dog food, so Yor was going to make something, so he goes out so that he can find Lloyd, and he manages to find Lloyd as he's trying to finish a mission. And I do love Bond and Lloyd working together. I would love it actually if Lloyd got Bond to work with him more in the future. But like, could you imagine like how unstoppable they will be? Like, this is why I feel like, I don't know when Spy Family will end, but my prediction will be the final mission will be all of the Forger family working together. Yor, Lloyd, Anya, and Bond. I feel like all four of them working together will just be absolute perfection. They will literally be unstoppable. That's why they don't know about each other just yet, because the moment they do, I mean, there might be some drama, there might be some fallouts and things, but them working together, when they do it accidentally, they already are an unstoppable team. So when they do it on purpose, oh my god, it's gonna be incredible. But yeah, Bond does find Lloyd, they do a little mission together, which was cute. It was fine, honestly. I liked when Anya was playing cards with her friends, and she was using her telepathy to find out where the stuff was, and then she's too good at it that they think, what, can you read minds or something? So then she has to play the game again, and she is about to lose until she starts crying. And poor Damien, like, he ends up giving Anya the right card so that she does end up winning over him, and she gets the macaron, and she offers half, and he's like, I don't want half. That's for dummies like you. Bless. He's still very resistant of Anya, but I do see them coming closer. And he does have a heart, you know. He does have a heart. There is another storyline of Frankie, and he is trying to find this missing cat, which Yor ends up helping with. Again, it was a very fine side storyline. Like, I wouldn't have minded if it was one of the short missions, you know, like the short missions at the back of the books. I wouldn't have minded if it was like there, but it just felt a little bit disjointed. It felt very episodic, which I don't mind every now and then, but it just felt like we were slowing down a little bit after like the greatness of, I want to say, like the first 5 volumes. And again, Yor, when she gets the cat, why does she terrify me so much sometimes? But then we get to the final 2 chapters of this volume, and I was like, right, this is it. This is where we are going to get good again. This is where we meet Shopkeeper, I think his name is. I believe this is Yor's boss, the one who gives her the missions of assassination. However, this time, he wants her to protect someone, Alka, Gretchen, and her young son. And she will be fleeing by sea, so she'll have to go on a cruise ship to rendezvous at this other boat and disappear. And Yor has to protect her from a mob family. an army of professional assassins. And I was like, oh my god, this is like Yo's time to shine. This is going to be a great storyline. I'm going to love this. And then Anya, like again, like, I love the coincidences of this. Anya uses her telepathy to win this game where the person who had the box was cheating. You put your hand in this box and you pull out a number, and each number corresponds with a prize. The number 1 is the big prize, which is the cruise, and obviously she has his mind, realizes that he's cheating because they've stuck the number 1 on the top of the box. So Anya puts her hand in and gets it out. And I love that so much. So she ends up getting the trip on the ship, which turns out to be the same ship that Yo is going to be working on. So Lloyd and Anya are now going to go on the ship as, you know, passengers, while Yo is going to go on to protect this woman and her child. And they all do know that they're going on the same ship, so I love it. And yeah, it promises to be a fantastic arc. And when I tell you I did love Volume 8 so much, but it did leave Volume 7 on a really good note. I just found a lot of this like disjointed, a lot of it I couldn't really care too much for. Good little side missions, but nothing really important to the main narrative. So it's kind of a little bit easily skippable, except for like the first couple of chapters and the last couple of chapters. The entire middle I felt was a little bit too lackluster for my personal taste. So then we get to volume 8, and I freaking love this. I thought it was a fantastic volume. We are back on track. I love the entire segment on this ship. It's just so exciting and amazing and wonderful. The most exciting storyline yet on Spy Family. I just love how Yo's on this ship to protect this woman under her job as an assassin, while her family are there and trying to stay away from her family, trying to protect her identity, and all of this stuff is so messy and so good. I love the scene where there was room service, but it turns out that's not room service. It's like somebody trying to kill them, and Yo has to like protect her. And it's such a public setting too. So they do like run into the like main ship bit, and I love the section where Yo has to try and knock people out without people realizing that that's happening, because they don't want to alert anyone and have to stop the ship, because they still have to meet the other ship to rendezvous so that they can protect this woman and her child and get them away to safety. So like they can't raise suspicion, but yet there are professional assassins after them. So I love how exciting that was, because also Anya hears the minds of the people too, and so she realizes what's about to happen and she wants to protect her mother. So she's trying to get Lloyd out of the way, which honestly my heart broke for Lloyd as well, because Lloyd was trying so hard to please Anya. So the whole section when they're in the shop and Anya's like, you're so uncool or something like that, and so Lloyd, or like he doesn't know how to have fun, and Lloyd doesn't really know how to have fun, so he thinks having fun is trying everything on in the shop. I love his thought process so much. Like he's so adorable and amazing. So that's like Anya's way of trying to get him to be out of the way. So then she goes out and she sees Yo, and like they're wearing masquerade masks. She sees Yo fighting one of the assassins, and there's like a whip thing, and people are like being a little bit suspicious, but Anya is like, hey, circus lady, like you're doing amazing, like this is so fun. So everyone else is like, oh, so this is a show, like this is amazing. So again, I love how Anya uses her powers without anyone knowing to cover for her parents. And even Yo thinks, oh, so she doesn't recognize me, that's good. Oh, how does Anya have the upper hand on the assassin and the spy? I don't get it, but it's amazing. Anya's face to her dad as well. Like I totally get what she's doing, I totally get it, but I did feel so bad, so bad for Anya at the same time too. How can you not love him? Please, how can you not love him? Oh, but then, yeah, Anya, you broke my heart there as well. Like, you could have at least said, yeah. Like, he's so uncool, what a drag. Like, bless him, he's trying, Anya, he's trying. I love it so much. He looks like he's having fun. And he's saying, I finally nailed it. I look every bit the fun, upbeat father. Like, he thinks he's done a good job, and then she's like, so uncool, what a drag. And he's like, shocked. She is the hardest mission that he has ever had in his life. She does end up realizing that she's making her dad worry. So she does say, I always think it best when it can be with both of you. So I do hope that Anya, Lloyd, and Yo can be together by the end of this cruise, because we're still on it by the end of this volume. In fact, we have the most exciting and most heart-pounding cliffhanger of a volume yet, because of Yo fighting all of the assassins and protecting that poor mother and child, and she's just taking them down one by one while all the fireworks are going off as a really good distraction, and she's fighting and fighting, and then, you know, there's a moment where it looks like she might end up getting killed, and she remembers what Olka had said about, I just want to live a quiet life, and Yo is now questioning whether she even wants to be an assassin anymore. Is this a life she even wants? And has she fully given herself over to the idea of being part of a family. And she's questioning why she's even in this job anyway. All I really wanted was to protect Yuri's carefree life. The world is soiled with needless tragedies, so revenge is one of them befalling him or anyone else takes the cleaning, and that still hasn't changed. In fact, it's more true now than ever. Like, she still wants to protect her family, she still wants to protect the world from the evils of the world. But oh my god, how badass is this when Yo grabs the sword and just breaks it in her hand? Yo, what? And then we end the volume like this? Badass behaviour. She says, I don't care if I have to bloody my hands, as she's breaking that sword. To endure such a harsh job for the sake of another, for the sake of something greater than oneself, I truly admire that. I think Lloyd would respect that, he would understand. That's why I won't give up this fight. Is that not just like the best ending of a volume yet? So exciting. Oh, I just freaking love the whole ship segment. What it does for the family. It's like the perfect blend of spy and family. Again, I love the volumes the most when it blends the two and it has a good balance. And a lot of character exploration too, especially with Lloyd, kind of questioning his abilities as a spy himself. He's saying things like, I'm not the perfect spy I thought I was. There are still things in this world I do not understand. I must not be overconfident in my knowledge and experience. So maybe this will be a turning point for Lloyd as well, in trying to kind of let himself go a little bit to loosen up and maybe genuinely have fun with the daughter he has adopted and the family he has kind of cultivated, so that we do have some character growth and progression from him, because you really do see him being chipped away a little bit, piece by piece, by Anya and Yo, and he is, I think, slowly starting to cool down a bit, or like warm up, I should say, like warm up to the idea of just being like a free spirit, because he's just business all the time. But that guy deserves a bloody break. But I think this might be in one of my favourite volumes so far, if not my favourite volume so far. It's very hard to beat the first one because it's just like how much I fell in love straight away. But I think it's up there with the first one. It was fantastic. And restored my faith as well after I didn't fully love volume 6 and 7. I do realise that I do prefer the Spy Family volumes when they have a little bit more of a running narrative, or you can see the arc unfolding rather than the sort of episodic stuff that ends up happening. And we do start volume 9 with the resolution of the ship saga. Actually, does the fan base have a name for this arc? Cruise Adventure arc, I think it's called. Apparently the Doggy Crisis arc and the Cruise Adventure arc are official names, I think, and the rest of them are all fan made. But yeah, we do have the resolution of the cruise arc. I absolutely adore that arc so much. I love that Yo was able to successfully accomplish her mission. She got the mother and her child off of the ship and into safety. And I love the added element of the bombs too. So there were bombs planted on the ship, and then that's how Lloyd ended up, you know, helping and getting involved. So I love that too. And Anya ends up helping Yo without Yo knowing. So again, I love that so much. When she throws like the thing up that Yo uses as a weapon. She throws that up and then it kind of saves the day. Yo is saved. So yeah, that was awesome. I thought it was so funny as well that one of the assassins and the person who was doing the bombs, they tried to escape on a little like inflatable, although one of them was only escaping on his own, but then the assassin person came on and then they kind of find each other, but then the guy throws one of the bombs over the side of the ship and the bomb like goes on the inflatable and decimates the two guys who are trying to escape, who caused the whole thing. So I love when things like that happens, where it is just a little bit of a coincidence, but justice is served. And that's what I love about Spy Family too, is that the stakes are high, but it's always nice and comforting to know that justice is usually, or pretty much always at this point, served. And then the goodbye between Yo and the woman she saved. When she says those hands of yours are the reason this child has a future, I genuinely think we might see Yo stop being an assassin like very soon. Even though I think she is so badass at doing stuff like that, but I do think she would love to settle down with the family. I think that's what her goal is right now. And the only thing I'm worried about is if she does try and leave the assassin life, will they let her? Or will that actually cause more problems for her? It is a very dangerous profession, and I worry that maybe Yo won't be able to get out of it unscathed. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about right now. At the minute, everything is pretty much hunky-dory, and it seems like both Yo and Lloyd are in the direction of this family kind of overtaking their lives more than the actual mission is. Even though Lloyd has to remind himself that this is the mission, like the family is the mission, but he says, I may have had a crisis to resolve, but I ended up abandoning my family again. Wait, what are you saying, Twilight? Your family is also part of your mission, remember? Or since taking a vacation is my mission, does that mean not having a mission is huh? So he's getting himself all confused and worked up over what is the mission anymore. You know, everything is so tangled together and in such an intricate way that I really do think it's like playing with his heart a bit and changing his entire personality, his entire persona. And I think that's just like such an incredible thing for him. We have that character arc for him. The character progression is just getting more and more evident with each chapter, with each mission. And I just, I can't say how much more I love it. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I apologize. But it is just great. I love it. Especially since Yo is able to get some time off. And look at Lloyd skipping as well. When Anya says a normal father would be jumping and hopping along with his daughter at a time like this. And then he's like, let's enjoy this cruise ship together. He's just, even Anya's like, Papa's so easy. Like, she's using him at this point. Like, she's having so much fun at his expense. And honestly, I would too. But yeah, it leads to them having such a great time. The three of them. I freaking love this family so much. It's almost making me feel like I am a part of it too. I hope this piece can last forever. Same. And I hope they can adopt me too. I giggled out loud when Yo kind of threw Anya when she was doing the wave. And it took Lloyd to like save her. Oh my god, Lloyd, stop. I need him to stop doing things. Because it's doing things to me. He just needs to stop. Anyway, Anya's face. Yo's always doing stuff like that. And she's like, oh crap, what have I done? She needs to remember her own strength. She's literally one of the strongest female characters I've read in manga ever. And I love her. And when Yo and Anya fall asleep and Lloyd carries them both. I'm gonna die. Seriously, like this is just far too much for me. Lloyd just like smiles a little as he looks down. Stop. Funny stuff about people lying, because Anya tells her classmates about the cruise ship and stuff, but like they don't think it's that impressive, so she makes some stuff up. And then Yuri comes and they all talk about like lying. So you have these panels there where it's like dark, because that's where they're kind of lying. And the light ones is where they just say something like a blank statement. And you can see how they're trying to reprimand Anya for lying and stuff and like how it's bad. And yet all of them are doing it. All of them are lying. It's so funny. And Anya's just like, nod, being a liar does seem pretty tough. I'll try to stop. Seriously, how come Anya is like the best? Like she's the best, she's the smartest, she knows what's up. Everyone else doesn't. They try to pull a fast one over her, but she knows better. We do have this whole segment where Lloyd and Bond are pretty much bonding. Lloyd is trying to train Bond a little bit, and Bond does see things happen, so he tries to stop it, but he just makes things worse, which is, I mean, I feel like because he's getting like reprimanded by Lloyd, it's not funny, but it's kind of interesting that he keeps getting it wrong. But when there is a fire, Bond goes and saves this really cute little doggy that was left in the building, and Lloyd sees just how amazing Bond is, and it leads to like some of the cutest moments between them. Like it was very exciting. I absolutely loved that Bond saved the dog, and Lloyd just went straight in after him as well into this burning building. No questions asked. And they stopped the person who's been like a serial arsonist. I'm gonna look at Bond when he's wet too. But it's like this talk between Lloyd and Bond where Lloyd says, you gotta be careful because there's someone else back at home who'd be heartbroken if anything happened to you. I want you to think of yourself as a member of the Forger family first and foremost. Got that? Like, oh my god, stop. I'm literally gonna cry. I'm gonna cry so badly. Like, I love it when animals who have been through hell get the family they deserve, who look after them and treat them right, and I'm just loving them. We also have another random thing as well with Becky. She goes to Anya's to hang out, and Lloyd is there. I kind of love this. I kind of love the fact that when Becky sees Lloyd, she has all of these random ass symbols and stuff, and Anya's trying to read it. She's like, X with dots, tic-tac-toe, triangle and sign thingy, smiley face, hot bath and heart, some kind of secret code. I just love Becky's reaction. I mean, Becky's reaction to Lloyd is me. Absolutely me. And I find it so adorable and hilarious that she is trying to get Lloyd. And it's just so pure and innocent. And then poor Yo as well. Like, she can't catch a break, can she? First it was Nightfall, or Fiona, her actual name is, I think. That could still be a code name as well, I don't know. First it was her, and now it's Becky, who is trying to usurp Yo and play the mother to Anya. And I kind of find it funny as well when Anya's like, actually, maybe Becky being my mum wouldn't be such a bad thing, when she sees like castles and butlers and, you know, great food and restaurants and stuff, where if Becky was her mum, like, that's hilarious. But I love how Yo and Becky end up bonding themselves. Like, oh my gosh, poor Yo. She manages to toss Becky out the way when a car comes because she's worried that she has like accidentally put alcohol in the tea, which she didn't do, but Becky was, you know, swooning, pretending to be drunk. But yeah, Yor takes this car hit for her, and she sees it. Becky sees just how incredibly strong she is, even to the point where she does the whole hammer thing. And even Lloyd is like, whoa, hang on. He's going to figure it out at some point, right? He's going to figure out about Yor, surely. But I love it. Again, like, I love it when someone says to Yor, I want to learn to be strong like you. And Yor's like, you want to be like me? Because that's pretty much exactly what Anya was like. And then they are training together. And it's so adorable. I love it when Yor is given that confidence boost when she starts to see her self-worth and believes in herself. I love it so much. And she's such a good role model. She's such a good role model. I love her. Another really random, I guess, mission is when Fiona goes to Frankie. Essentially, she's looking for someone to do a job for her, and Frankie is helping her. And I kind of like them together. I love the kind of disguise stuff that they do to get into the club, and the way they call each other baby doll and honey. Like, it's kind of funny. And like, I felt a little bit bad for Frankie because it seems like everyone thinks he's a loser and are so surprised that he has a girlfriend. And so I kind of felt a little bit bad for him, but I kind of ship Frankie and Fiona. She even goes back to see him at the end of the chapter that she's in. And it seems like, yeah, I'll be back with another job very soon. So it feels like maybe there might be something there that wasn't there before. Maybe. Especially since Frankie is saying to Fiona that she's quite cold and quite grumpy. I wonder if they could start hanging out a bit more and defrost Fiona Frost's icy heart, maybe. And then she can stop being so obsessed with Lloyd, and her and Frankie can maybe be a thing. I would ship it. I honestly would. Last chapter of this volume as well. I'm so sorry if I say it wrong. Madame Schlag? I think her name is Madame Schlag. So she does these, you know, the shots that the kids at Eden Academy, it's like demerits, and when you get 8 of them, you get expelled. Anya's already got 1, and this Madame Schlag, her reputation precedes her. She gives out these balls left, right, and centre. She's extremely strict. And so she meets with Anya's class, and she's given pretty much nearly everyone bolts. And somebody doesn't have a handkerchief, so she bolts them. And Anya gives Damien her handkerchief so that he doesn't get a bolt. And she gets a bolt instead. So now she has 2 bolts, which is kind of concerning because I really don't want Anya to get expelled or anything. But now Damien does owe her one. It was such a sacrifice on Anya's part. It seems like Anya maybe did imagine bringing 2 handkerchiefs because she does tell Damien, oh, don't worry, I have another one in my bag. But turns out she didn't. So I wasn't sure if maybe she did it on purpose. Like, she knew she didn't have another one, but she just needed to help Damien anyway for the mission to become his friend and then get invited to his house, get closer to his dad. Like, I thought maybe that was on purpose. But maybe she did only imagine bringing 2, so I'm not really 100% sure. But he does owe her a favour, and he's going to pay her back. So I love that. But also I love how we end this volume with Lloyd fainting, because Anya has another tinnitus bolt. Tinnitus bolt till expulsion 6. Stellar stars till Imperial Scholar 7. So come on, we need these stellar stars, Anya, come on. Damn, another volume done. These are so great and fast to read. I'm gonna be so heartbroken when I catch up. Oh my god, the first chapter of this. It was so long, it was like 80 pages. I think it was like the longest chapter we've ever had. But, oh my gosh. After, you know, Lloyd faints at the very end of book 9, volume 9, we have this whole flashback sequence of Twilight as a child, or Lloyd, or whatever his real name is. I really want to know his real name. Why is it being kept a secret from us? We're not going to tell anyone. Just tell us. I want to know his real name. But bless his little heart, man. Everything that happened to him was so tragic. It was probably the darkest and toughest chapter of Spy Family yet. Poor little Lloyd went through hell. And it really does contextualize the whole war and what it really means to Twilight and his stakes in the game, and like why he is so like passionate about what he does, and even how he got started in being a spy, which I found absolutely fascinating, because we are quite used to seeing Lloyd as rather stoic and rather cold-faced, with little moments of him really letting himself go and stuff. And he does have a heart of gold. I feel like we've always known that from the beginning, but to actually see what he went through, oh, just humanizes him even more. And I feel bad for the kid that he never got a chance to be. And I loved seeing him act out his own like childhood fantasies and, you know, fighting and being with his friends. Oh, his friends. Oh, the fact that he got reunited with his friends just for them to end up dying. Again, like, why? We went suddenly tragic. So, so tragic. Spy Family so far has not been as tragic as this one chapter. Oh my god. It's so sad. And I do feel bad about his family too. Like, his dad slapping him really shocked me. It shocked me. And then when the bombs start coming down and you see the devastation and the destruction, he never sees his dad again. And then later on, his mum gets killed in bombs. And oh god. It really does show you the reality of war. And I keep forgetting like the time period of this a little bit, like olden days, which I really do like that atmosphere. Some of the best paneling that the mangaka has done so far. The way he conveys the horrors of what happens, like the chaos and the destruction, it's so tranquil in a way, but also like really horrifying. I was horrified by this chapter. Oh my gosh, and we also got to see how Frankie and Lloyd became friends. The fact that Frankie was, you know, deserting his side because they were on opposing sides, and Lloyd kind of spares him, and then they get separated, but then, you know, come back together years later. It's just so interesting. But look at him when he reunites with his friends. Oh, those friends, like, they were a symbol of like his childhood and carefree days and just better times, and then they got taken away from him. Oh my god, I read this chapter last night sobbing. I was like, why is this so sad? Really interesting as well, the stuff between Frankie and Lloyd and propaganda and what the media are like telling each side. Like each side thinks they're the hero kind of thing. And I've just found that so interesting. It really does make you question the government and like what we're being told, and you know, like war, lives, like how valuable lives are. And I just found that so incredible. The fact that it was all as well just like Lloyd flashing back after he'd fainted, and we end the chapter with him waking up and Anya being like, there, it's okay, there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, oh, like, that's so cute. And he's telling Anya to cherish her friends. Oh, yeah, this was a really tough chapter. Like, really, really tough. It took up the main bulk of this volume. There were only like 5 chapters in this volume because they were like extra, extra long. Like, that's how much that chapter was, mission 62. And then the rest of the volume, and then there are some like short missions at the end. Wow, that's nearly half a volume. I quite liked when Anya and the Elegance teacher, I keep forgetting his name, it's like Master Henderson or something, but I prefer to call him Elegance Guy. There was some like nice moments between them two, and Anya helps him. Even though she does it begrudgingly, she still helps him. I love how reluctant she is to begin with. If you time to spare, then would you kindly help me with these school supplies? The many duties involved in managing new primary students can be a bit much for me. Yeah, I'm kind of busy doing nothing, sorry. Like, come on, Anya. That's not elegant. But she does it for tea cakes, so, I mean, it's on brand. And I honestly feel like we're 10 volumes in, and I don't think she's any further forward in, like, what she genuinely thinks she should be doing at this school. I mean, she is in terms of trying to exact the mission for her dad and stuff, but it's like the way that she talks to Master Henderson. She says that she wants to be an Imperial Scholar. He asks why, so Anya says, the thing is, they look super cool. How utterly shallow. And she's like, I want those stellar stars and I want them now. Like, do you know who you're talking to? Mr. Elegant. Sometimes Anya is like so intuitive, and other times she just can't read the room. So I like that kind of stuff. Yor is again like trying to cement her place in the family and try and make it seem normal and stuff. So she does go to the department store. She ends up getting roped into this volleyball game, which was kind of comedic, and I was shooketh though at the end of mission 65. Oh my god, I was flabbergasted. But one of the people on the volleyball thing, and like the group of women who invited Yor to play with them, turns out that she is Melinda Desmond. She is Damien's mother. And Yor is obviously Anya's mother. And I'm just like, Desmond's dad is the target. Like, I was like, surely this cannot be a coincidence. Surely not. Like, something is fishy here. Something is going on. And I have no idea what it is, but I'm a little bit suspect. And even Lloyd is like wondering if it is a coincidence or not. And I'm like, I'm with you. Like, this seems a little bit too good to be true. And she also scares me a little bit as well, because Yor tries to apologize for what Anya did. And like, she's like pushing it though. Like, Yor is pushing it. And Melinda's like, it's fine, I'm telling you, it's totally fine. Then Yor's like, but Melinda's face just suddenly changes to this like scary looking face. And she's like, I said that it's fine, Yor. I really don't care about that. Like, she has those like quick flashes or quick moments where she completely changes her demeanor, and it terrifies me. I feel like so many characters in this are able to just flip the switch and they become incredibly scary. And just the way that she talks about Anya, I do hope that they can stay friends. But like, what is that face? She looks like she's shaking a little bit too. And she just looks scary. What is her mission? What is her game? That's what I want to know. But it is nice that Yo has some like other friends and stuff, because it has been a bit of a struggle for her to really feel normal and to have those kinds of friendships. But I love how Anya has now made it a thing, because Lloyd thinks, okay, new plan. Plan C, the mommy friend scheme. So Yo can get close to Melinda so that he can get close to his target. And then obviously Anya overhears that, the battle of the friendship schemes. And now she is kind of unofficially competing with her mum on who can make friends the quickest, her and Damien or Yo and Melinda. I love how competitive she can be, especially when the other people just don't know what she's doing. Oh, and also I'm questioning something as well, because Yo goes to her employer, her assassin employer, the shopkeeper, and she mentions something about Lloyd. Lloyd met Mr. Desmond and said he seemed like a good person. He said he was pretty interested in his national unity thing, whatever it's called. And then the way that the shopkeeper looks upon hearing this about Lloyd, he's like, did he now? So I'm like, I'm wondering if maybe the shopkeeper might find out about Lloyd somehow. I don't know why, but that just seems intriguing to me. I'm keeping my eye on him, because this interaction, again, fishy. So many people I can't get a read on right now. It's getting a lot more interesting in the Spy Family verse. As much as I do love the cute and adorable moments of Anya and Lloyd and Yo antics, I feel like this web of lies that we're currently entangled in, it's going to slowly start to unravel, and other people are getting suspicious. It's just Melinda I need to keep an eye on, the shopkeeper I need to keep an eye on. So it was a very good volume. The last physical volume that we have right now, volume 11, comes out physically in May in the UK, maybe a little bit earlier in other places, and also it's obviously out in Japan. So this was the last officially published English volume that I have for this vlog. So I did read volume 11 on the Shonen Jump app, which constitutes missions 67 to 75. And oh my god, I freaking loved volume 11. I don't have the actual physical volume or anything to hold up during this section, and I just took like loads of photos of things so I can remember to talk about them, but I can't really like show you the pages or anything. I apologize for this section, it's going to be a little bit messy, but volume 11 I think is like up there with one of my favorites so far as well. It was exciting. Oh my god, it took to my heartstrings. I was on the verge of tears. One of the big things in volume 11 is that Lloyd's cover is nearly blown by his medical director person called Gerald, who despises Lloyd because of how popular Lloyd is with everyone on the staff. So he's like trying to do things to make him look bad, but then he calls the Secret Service on Lloyd and says that he's a spy. But fortunately Lloyd has been one step ahead, so Fiona and Frankie have like intercepted, and they had this like huge ruse to stop anything from like coming out about Lloyd, and they pretty much save his ass. It was like amazing the way they handled it, because it just made Lloyd look even better, and hopefully Gerald as well in the future will leave him the hell alone. But I really did enjoy that whole section, because one of the chapters ended with, yes, that's right, I've discovered a spy on my staff, as he's on the phone to the Secret Service. I'm like, oh my god, because I didn't know at the time that they'd intercepted the call. I didn't know that they had already like planned ahead, which I should have done. I should have known, because it's Lloyd we're talking about. How could I let my guard down? And oh my god, I don't know if you can really see like on the screen or anything, but yeah, like when Lloyd is handcuffed, like his look on his face showed genuine surprise. And so I genuinely thought, oh shit, he's actually getting arrested. How are we going to get out of this? It does turn out that the handcuffs weren't part of the plan, and it's like Frankie who was like put the handcuffs on him. So as soon as all of that came out, I was like, okay, Lloyd is one step ahead, as he always is. The Yuri and Lloyd stuff, again, was like a little bit funny. Didn't love it. But yeah, Yuri is at the apartment, and Yuri challenges Lloyd to like laundry and cooking and all this, that and the other. And yeah, it's fine. Like, it is a little bit funny. I liked it when they were trying to find these shopping ingredients in record time and the cheapest. And Yuri is using his SSS status to find out where the cheapest detergent in town is. I find that quite funny. Anya, this face she pulls. Again, I love her faces so much. But oh my god. Okay, so this is when volume 11 becomes like one of the best volumes yet. It's like so exciting. It's up there with the cruise ship. And it's when the kids of Eden Academy are going on a field trip, and the school buses are taking them there. And so Anya and Damien, Becky are on like a school bus, and they get taken over. They are getting held hostage. In the moment when one of the hostage peoples shoots, I think it's the teacher or the bus driver. I think it's the bus driver, actually. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was like, holy hell, we are the Red Circus and we've hijacked your bus. If you want to live, you'll do exactly what we say. Oh, I was like, shit. We're being held hostage. Oh my god. And the Red Circus too? What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god. So it was so exciting to see this whole thing play out. Also, like, somehow Anya still makes it funny as she's like writing secret notes and stuff, because Anya has obviously been able to read their minds so she can find out where they're going. So she's trying to get an SOS call out, but her handwriting is absolutely shocking, which is hilarious. But Becky with the good hair, she has good handwriting too. But how brave was like Damien when he's like, I'll make a distraction to give you an opening so that the police can find out where they're heading. Oh my god, that was so brave. Like, you can genuinely tell. I know he's like still resisting any kind of friendship with Anya, but he cares. He really cares. Oh my god, when they put a bomb around Anya's neck too, I was like, holy shit. But then Anya does find out pretty quickly that the bomb's fake. So obviously, like, some of the tension like dissipates pretty quickly. However, because like nobody else really knows, it just looks hilarious when Anya's just like, okay, it's fake, so like I can just like do what I want. So she's like tapping it, she's just like moving around just willy-nilly, and everyone's like, oh my god, will you stop, we don't want to die. Like, look at her face, like she's just tapping it and everyone else is like, stop. Oh god, I just freaking love her so much. And then Damien's like, take the bomb off her neck and put it on mine. See, it's just like, what a child. He is a child and he's doing this thing in front of these hijackers, and oh my gosh, his life is on the line. He doesn't know that they're fake, and he's like, the bomb on her neck, attach it to me instead. But instead they just attach another bomb on his neck. Well, fake bomb. But again, he doesn't really know. But then she does tell him during this like really sweet moment when she holds his hand for a second and tells him, don't be scared, it's fake. And then he's like, oh, for God's sake. So the Red Circus won freedom for 17 imprisoned Red Circus comrades, and also safe passage for all of them to the nation of Nautica. So really, again, like, this whole war stuff that's going on and warfare, prisoners, is like still a really big theme in Spy Family. You can really see it bleed into the main characters' lives. Like, even Anya, who is like an innocent bystander, really. So the way that all connects is pretty brilliant. Oh, Master Henderson, aka Elegance Guy, when he's outside the bus, like, he cares for his students. Like, that's his class. He is, you know, really, really supportive. Oh, he's like one of my favorites. And he says, I will go. I wish to put the students' mind at ease. So he like takes the food and stuff to the bus and gets taken as well. And it was just so kind and caring in the way that Yo is like worried. She doesn't know what's happened, but she kind of has maybe like mother's intuition, because she's ringing up about her daughter not coming home yet. But yet she's just like sitting, just fidgeting and stuff. And then she rings again like straight away. It's like she is so intuitive. I feel like her bond with Anya is becoming so strong that is like a genuine connection that they have there. Love it when Anya is standing up for everyone and everyone is just like, so Anya, oh my god. But Anya like uses the memories of the main guy who's taking the hostage, because he lost his daughter to the war and he is like really angry and he misses his daughter so much and he thinks he's doing it for her. And I think that's like such a brilliant thing to explore. Like, it's really deep and emotional, and the way that war and losing loved ones has scarred so many different people and it's affected them in different ways, and you can kind of like see where he's coming from a little bit, and you can see how much it breaks into his conscience. Because he lets Anya go, he gets rid of the bomb and lets her go. And she won't go, And she says, I want to make a world where kids don't need to cry. And I was like, that's so noble, but you're a kid yourself. I just love how she's coming across here. But it really makes the main hostage person think, would you be proud of the person I become? No, I didn't forget her, not really. Just pretend to keep my anger, my reason to live, from melting away. And then Martha, aka Becky's person, the person who's always with Becky and looking after her, she saves Anya. She is amazing. And there was a moment a little bit earlier on, I can't remember if it was this volume or a previous volume, where Lloyd sees her and he thinks that she presents herself in a way that she seems like more than she appears, you know what I mean? I can't remember exactly what he said, but something like that. Oh, and when Damien and Anya are talking about it and she thanks him and stuff, and he's like, that was no big deal, anyone would have done that. Friends look out for each other. Oh, like, you know, oh, Damien did call them friends. He really did. And when Yor finally comes, like, she ran the entire way. She ran to pick Anya up. And oh my god, I was choking back the tears. Choking back it, like the parents being so worried about their children and the way that they love their children so much. And like the way that Anya is like so stoic and stuff until, you know, Yor comes and then she lets go. She just allows the protection of her mother to overwhelm her and keep her safe. Everything's fine, there's nothing to be afraid of now. I'm so sorry I couldn't come to you sooner. I was so sad for Damien because it seemed like no one was coming for him to begin with. But then his mother comes and I'm like, oh my god, I wish every single child in the world had a parent or a guardian who loves them unconditionally and treats them this way, where they make them feel safe and like they'll always be there. Even though they weren't there for like the event for the hostage or anything, but the way that they show care and the way that they ran to them and all of that stuff, it was so sweet. And I was just thinking about that as I was reading this section, how much I wish every single child did have someone who cares for them. But then I'm a little bit unsure about freaking Melinda again because she is terrifying me. One second she seems to care for Damien and then the next she doesn't. This whole section here, again, look at her eyes. She is so scary. These are all the things that she's thinking. If only he died in the hijacking. How glad I am that he's safe. If only I weren't burdened with this child. So sweet the way he puts on that brave front. How he disgusts me. My treasure, my curse. When we get home, I'll cook for him. It's been so long since I've done that. I pray he doesn't stay with me. How I adore you, Damien. I could not care less. Like, what? Like, this is so confusing. She is such a complex and odd character. I don't know what to think of her. Does she care for Damien? Does she not? She seems to, but then she doesn't. Like, my head is going to explode. I'm glad she internalized all of that and didn't say it out loud, because it was very important for Damien to feel like he had a parent who actually cares. So at least he thinks she cares, and I think she does. At least 50% cares. Oh, it was such a great volume. It was so exciting. So big, so grand, so epic. One of my favourite volumes so far. And yeah, it was just so good. The whole Red Circus bit. Oh, cannot wait to own this volume physically now. Volume 12 also was very good. I was a little bit worried to begin with because, again, like we did have some side stuff, which again is absolutely fine. Like we have a few things with Lloyd and one of the teachers from Eden Academy where they go and see him as a psychiatrist and we find out that he is scared of his wife. Not Lloyd, the person who he's seeing, Mr. Austin, I believe his name is. So we see Lloyd like try to work through that, but that was absolutely fine. Didn't blow me away. I wasn't that interested really, but it was cool to see Lloyd at his psychiatrist job. I did love seeing Anya and Damien and everyone come back to the school as heroes and the way that everyone like idolizes them. I love it when Anya gets like a lot of praise and I love it when people actually like treat her well. I know sometimes she gets a bad rep because she's not the smartest or the brightest, but you know, she is an absolute diamond. So seeing the other kids appreciate her made me very appreciative too. I did actually really enjoy seeing Lloyd's boss, and she took, you know, the other bomb dog from when we met Bond back in like volume 4, and there was another dog that was one of the bomb dogs. Well, Lloyd's boss took it in, like adopted that dog, and I'm so glad because those poor dogs, they need love and attention and actual genuine care from humans who are going to treat them right. And to see this boss, and you know, it was interesting to see her life too and how messy it is and how much she doesn't really look after herself really, like she has everything be quite a mess. So that was really interesting. But I loved it when she rendezvoused with Lloyd in the park and Annie was there with Bond. She called her dog Aaron and she says, I looked at the book of names and that was the first entry and that's why she called him that. And like even everyone is like, what, there's no special meaning behind it. And even Aaron the dog is like, hang on. That's why I'm called Aaron, really? But I did love the whole interaction and how they had to like double play it as well, because obviously Anya, well, isn't supposed to know that she is his boss, but she knows. And they have like their secret like kind of language. If you win, I'll make that extra mission go away. I accept your challenge. So they have this challenge thing where they have their dogs do this like obstacle course. And it was like fun. It was like really nice. I was maybe slightly annoyed at the Yo storyline in this volume. I didn't love it. Her friends at the City Hall are getting in her head about the fact that all marriages, there are gripes. You have to have some kind of problem against your spouse. And Yo was like, oh, Lloyd's perfect. I don't have any stuff. But then she like has a lot of drink. And like she does have a drinking problem, which I guess is kind of her quirk. In a way, like she can't really cook, she has a bit of a drinking problem, or like whenever she does have even the smallest of drinks, alcoholic drinks, she is just a bad drunk. So then she decides to start trying to see if there is a gripe. I mean, nice to see her get closer to her City Hall colleagues, because sometimes they do talk about her in a not a nice way, so it's nice to see them bond. I don't love it when we say you're drunk. For one, you can't really understand what she's saying because her speech gets slurred, and that sometimes makes it hard to like read what she's saying. And yeah, it just like creates like this unnecessary like moment a lot of the times. It was funny though when Lloyd asked about like why she had gripes and how long she's had them for, and she just says, oh, since yesterday. And he's like, just yesterday? That's kind of funny, but I felt so bad for Lloyd too, because then Yuri was there also, and he's like, oh, he's cheating on you, and just like, poor Lloyd, leave him alone. He's like the perfect person. However, as soon as we get past all of that, fortunately, we do get a pretty exciting storyline where there is this guy who is about to give documents to the other side with information about their side, including Operation Strix, which is, you know, the fake wife, the fake daughter getting into Eden Academy, Lloyd stuff. So obviously, like, they really need to get that stuff. So it's Winston Wheeler, this guy, and he is so good. The way that he becomes, like, kind of a formidable foe for our main protagonist in this volume. I really enjoyed seeing that. It was really, really exciting. And the whole bait and switch stuff with like Lloyd pretending to be Wheeler with his disguise and then pretending to be Yuri and then fighting Yuri as Yuri, that was really exciting. Like all the stuff in the sewer. And I was like, oh my god, we're going to get exposed here, aren't we? Yuri is going to find that this is Twilight. We are so close to the secret being exposed. But fortunately, no, but we do see Yuri fight back pretty well against Twilight, Lloyd, and it was really exciting. And I was also kind of a little bit scared for Fiona too. Like, I really enjoyed her in this volume. You really get to see her strength, and I know a lot of her strength comes from her love for Lloyd. The more people protect on Lloyd, the better, in my opinion. The more people on our side, the better. The way that she fights Winston at the end of this volume is so incredible, because just as Lloyd is about to be unmasked, this is Fiona in disguise, of course. That's kind of scary. Like, that's kind of a scary visual too. Again, like, it's always, they seem fine one minute, and then the mangaka decides to make this really terrifying panel of a person where every single person seems to have some kind of scary side. It is chilling. I loved the whole storyline with Winston. I thought that whole part of the volume was fab. Love the chases, love the bait and switches. I was actually really scared that the information will get leaked, and we do end this volume on a cliffhanger. So that was like really exciting, and I was like, oh my god. Not as good as volume 11, but I feel like we don't have to always have those big, exciting, epic, dramatic things happening, like, you know, cruise ships and school bus hostages. But, you know, I thought it was like a really good thing where we almost got exposed, and we still might by volume 13. So it was just like really super exciting to read that. Okay, so volume 13 isn't even out in Japan yet, so I don't actually know which chapters it actually covers because it doesn't say. It apparently comes out in like 3 days in Japan as of filming this video, but it still doesn't have what chapters are included. So this section of the vlog is going to be from chapters 85 to 94. So that's most likely all of volume 13 and potentially the start of volume 14, depending on how many chapters they put in volume 13. So bear that in mind going forward. I'm going to be talking about up to chapter 94, the most recently released chapter of Spy Family, as of filming this video. So that being said, we have the conclusion to the whole like Winston storyline. Again, a really epic finale to that. Seeing Fiona be the one to take him down was incredible. And I love what she says about him. She says, you're afraid to die, you're afraid of being betrayed, you're incapable of trusting anyone, you have no one to believe in, no one to gaze at and intently scrutinize, you've given up on the world, now you're just an empty man meddling in it for no reason greater than your own amusement. But I'm not afraid, I believe in that man. I think of him and think of him and think of him and think of him and think of him. And she takes him the fuck down. She is so epic in this volume. I honestly have to give all credit and all kudos to Fiona for that. Like, again, stay away from a man, but protect him by any means. Really close call with Yuri as well, because Lloyd, was it? Yeah, I think his right arm, I think, got shot and like injured, and Yuri obviously was the one who was like fighting him and stuff. So like for a second there, it seemed like, oh, maybe he's clocked on. Maybe he's about to expose Lloyd as Twilight right now. But fortunately, Lloyd, again, thinks ahead. One of these days, though, he's going to slip up. One of these days. Oh my god, Lloyd in the shower. Lloyd in the shower. My spy ex-bussy could not control itself. Oh, there was like a really whole cute section of this volume where Damien is trying so hard to give Anya the cakes that he had, you know, promised her to pay her back. So the most elite tea cakes ever made, intended for this world's royalty. And he's trying so hard to give her them without anyone seeing, because obviously he has a reputation to uphold and stuff. So saying all of that was like really funny. Like, I love the little antics they got up to. Yuri is... I feel like I'm not the biggest fan of Yuri because, again, I just think he's like a little bit too obsessed with Yor, and I don't think he's got like his own personality that I kind of like. Like with Fiona, it was getting a little bit repetitive, but I really do see her a little bit differently now after like everything we've been through. But like with Yuri, I'm just like not really that bothered about him. You can smell her at that distance from inside a car. That's the creepiest thing I've ever heard. Like, I literally agree. Like, he's just like too much for me. I just don't think I like him. I'm so sorry if that's an unpopular opinion. I have no idea what people's opinions are on anyone. Now that I'm caught up on Spy Family, I need to like browse all the forums, see what people say online, because I need to know what other people think. Also, like, let me know down below what you think of like everyone and everything. I love it so much. It is pretty funny that every single attack move that Yuri has is named after Yor. So like, say for example in One Piece, we have like Luffy. Every time he does a move, he shouts out like gum gum, bazooka, or things like that. So I kind of find it funny that he has like your punch, your kick, and things like that. It's funny, it's funny. Oh, but actually the main thing that I love about Volume 13, and again like this might go beyond Volume 13, is when we meet this guy who is like this old guy in the park who seems lost and he can't remember his way home. And like Anya's like a little bit insensitive to begin with because like she just doesn't really understand the situation or anything. Like she's still a child, so like you can give her leniency there. But fortunately Yor is with her, and I love how they try so hard to find this guy's place. And like Yor is such a sweetheart, the fact that she does that. Like she goes out of her way to try and help him. Like, I know so many people who would have just like not had the patience for it because he kept getting things wrong. Like he really can't remember the way home, and he would take them on like these wild goose chases. Like, but I mean, Anya loves the adventure, so that's great. But like, it was just so sweet to see all of that. But I loved what Yor said about like how Anya doesn't have this like grandfather role in her life. And again, like this is what like this whole found family thing feels like. We got the father, the daughter, the mother, the dog, and now like the grandparents, because I do feel like this guy, what was his name again? Sigmund and Barbara, his wife. Oh my god, like they are like the cute grandparents. I feel like that's the role that they're going to start playing now that they're like neighbors, like they live in the same building. And Yor, yeah, she says, my parents are gone and Lloyd's are too, so Anya's never experienced having a grandparent before. I guess I never have either, but you can't miss what you've never known, so I can't say I was ever sad about that, but I wonder if the same is true for Anya. So yeah, I feel like Barbara and Sigmund are going to be the grandparents to Anya. Like, oh my god, it's like one huge family. Like, seriously, like, I'm loving seeing this family, this found family just grow. Because, yeah, grandparents in this is like, oh my god, if anything happens to them though, oh my god, no, if anything happens to them, I'm gonna be so sad. Especially since Sigmund's memory is rather shocking. I think this is still in volume 13 too, but we have this section where Yor and a lot of the City Hall girls are helping out with veterans, and there's like this whole thing happening. And there is a woman called Millie who is, you know, kind of resistant because she's like, at least those soldiers survived. And she's holding a lot of resentment because she is saying that her dad didn't get a chance to come home. So that we have this whole like section where Yor ends up defending Millie against these people who are quite mean and who are like exacting their power and authority over everyone, being like, oh, this is how you should act, respect these veterans, and obviously like, yeah, respect the veterans and stuff, but the way that they're being treated isn't like really quite fair. So Yor makes a point that everyone is different. Why are you convinced that Millie is the same as you? Obviously people have different physical capabilities, so what? So your point is that emotionally we're all the same. But that logic, there's no difference between those who are suffering and those who aren't. We're all just one big happy species. But Yor makes the point that everyone deals with this in their own different way, and like you've got to have some kind of compassion for other people to realize that they're going through the same thing but in a different way, kind of thing. I love that whole exploration of that. Even though they make a point of Yor not being posh enough to know Melinda. This is like the funniest thing ever when Yor comes home, and I'm going to say this all the time, but heartiest salutations, dearies. Should I start my videos every single time now? Because now Yor is getting posh. She's like trying to take these lessons on board and she's like posh, or like She'll probably won't be posh for much longer. But like she says, heartiest salutations, dearies. I love that. It's so funny. Again, I don't know if this is end of volume 13, start of volume 14, but we do have term finals coming up and Anya really needs to focus on it. And I know Anya has like the mind reading ability, but even she's like, it hasn't really done her very well so far. There are so many voices going on that it's hard for her to concentrate. And now she like really actually needs to apply herself if she wants to even try and pass. Oh, I don't know if I should show you this, but I'm going to show you anyway. Look at that, the dirty, dirty girl. Oh my god. It seems like she has a bit of a cold. Look, Papa, look, I just blew the longest string of snot in the history of the unicycle verse. Maybe I can earn a stellar star for being the Eden Academy Master of Snot. It's a snot anaconda. It's a snot anaconda. Ugh, that's absolutely disgusting. So Sigmund ends up helping Anya with her tests and stuff. Like, they start to practice together and he's trying to help her study. And obviously that hasn't gone so well in the past with like Lloyd and Yuri. I mean, it helps a little bit, but it doesn't really stick with Anya. But the relationship and dynamic between Anya and Sigmund, grandfather and grandchild, I mean, we're assuming that he's taking the grandfather role, essentially. Like, even if it's like not really outwardly stated or anything or official. That's the vibe I'm getting from this interaction. But yeah, he's like really helping her. And like, look how proud even he looks of her. And they've only known each other a few chapters really. But look, oh my god, I'm so happy. Children like you are the nation's greatest treasures. Grow up healthy and strong. I'm loving so many themes of Spy Family. One of them being like how children are our future and like giving them the best and like caring for them and nurturing them and making sure they become the best that they can be, but also like showing them love and kindness. Oh god, it's just so beautiful. And Anya, she gives herself like a little disguise as well because she says that she wants to look like she overcame rigorous training, but she used permanent marker so it won't come off. So she ends up going to school with it on, and even like the elegant guy, he's like, what in the world? Like, I'm so funny. And she's gone up in the rankings too, so she's 168th when she used to be 213th, so she's gone up. But she also came second, like second highest for classical languages, which means that she gets a stellar star, but then she does also get a Tinnitus Bold for only getting 24 points on maths. So she gets a stellar star and she gets a Tinnitus Bold. I still don't know how to pronounce that. So, like she's made so much progress and, she hasn't changed completely. And it's still, up in the air, like it's still neck and neck because the amount of stars to become a scholar is the same as getting expelled. So I think she needs like 5 more stars to become a scholar and 5 more bolds to get expelled. So it's like neck and neck right now. It's neck and neck. And also Lloyd is asking Anya about like her past and stuff, and Anya's like, I don't really remember, because she is very good at like the classical language thing. So even Lloyd's a little bit like, where's this come from? Why is she really good at it? So I find that interesting. We meet Demetrius, who is Damien's older brother, and that was quite interesting also. I wonder if he might become a new recurring character. Maybe there might be some kind of brotherly bond that forms. It doesn't look like they have a good relationship right now, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And then the final chapter that I read was chapter 94. It kind of feels like a little bit of a standalone chapter. It was a very exciting chapter, though it had the Lloyd family getting, like, well, they go to a mountain, they go skiing because Anya wants to, and they end up coming across a blizzard and they get snowed into like this cabin where other people are staying, but there is a killer among them. One of the mentions about the red snowman, this guy here. They say that during blizzards a monster emerges and murders the townsfolk one by one. They call him the red snowman because he's covered with blood splatter from his victims. And then obviously that was like a little scary story. I was like, ooh, that's kind of exciting. Like, okay, I wonder if something happens there. And then somebody does turn out to get a frozen carrot stabbed in their back, and I was like, oh my god, like, is this like the red snowman arc or something? Because that's so exciting. Because yeah, I was stabbed in the back with a frozen carrot. It does turn out, be fine. Like, he's not dead. Lloyd obviously is like the man of the hour because he's just the perfect guy, and he concludes that the would-be killer is one of them. It has to be one of them. Like, look at Yor as well. Like, even she's in there. And she's like, I probably didn't do it. Like, you're fine. You didn't do it. But, like, someone in the cabin has done it. Or at least tried to kill someone. So that was so exciting. I was like, oh my god, a little murder mystery on our hands. Obviously, like, we would find out pretty much straight away who did it. Because, Anya's telepathy. And it turns out to be the one that they least expect. the nice old man. Good luck with that. No one so much as suspects it was me. But obviously Anya can't like tell her dad that he is the killer. But then Anya does like say, oh, we need to be here at this time. So Lloyd does end up capturing him, turns him into the police, and case solved. Lloyd saved the day. That was amazing. But that was only like just one chapter. I do wish that had been a little bit longer. Maybe a couple of chapters of like having a murder mystery. Maybe we could have ended the chapter with Anya finding out who the bad guy is and then trying to figure out ways to prove it. And then going into the next chapter where Lloyd finally finds out that he did it. But it was a nice little chapter. It felt like such a little one-shot. And if anything, I kind of now want a spin-off series where Anya, Lloyd, and Yo become like detectives and they have to solve crimes. A little bit like CSI, but maybe like CS Spy Family. Get it? CS Spy Family. But that was the final chapter that I'm caught up with. Apparently the next chapter comes out in like 3 days. So I'll have to read that. I won't be able to read it in time for this vlog. There's always going to be new chapters, so I'm looking forward to being a weekly reader of Spy Family, or however often the chapters come out. I'm just going to have to wait now. I can't just binge it. I'm so sad. But that was a fantastic experience. I absolutely loved reading and binging all of Spy Family in pretty much one go. It was so much fun, and I just found so many like great new favorite characters. I think this might be my 3rd favorite manga series of all time. Hello, Ash. You've just come in as I'm wrapping up. I think One Piece is still my favorite manga, then Berserk, and then Spy Family. Yeah, I think that's like the order it goes in right now. So it's currently my 3rd favorite manga of all time, but it does have some of my favorite characters of all time, and it's like the most adorable manga I've ever read. I love Found Family so much, and this has just given me everything that I ever wanted. So my next manga all-in-one series review is gonna be Witch Hat Italia, or Italia, I'll find out how to pronounce it. Including the little cozy slice of life spin-off. Oh my god, it's so hard to hold all of these. Including the like little slice of life spin-off Witch Hat Atelier Kitchen. There are currently 2 volumes of that out, and currently 11 volumes of Witch Hat Atelier. So I'll be reading these at the end of this month, and this will be the very next all-in-one manga series review, so I hope you look forward to that. But please, please, please talk Spy Family with me. I need to talk to people about it. I love it so much. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the vlog. Let me know what you think of Spy Family. Just chat to me down below. Let's be Spy Family friends together. Let's be a Spy Family. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons and my One Piece channel members for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon or my One Piece channel membership, then all the links are down in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.